Welcome back. You're listening to Empowered Living Life, the Truth, and Being Free. I'm your host, Steve Maraboli. Thank you so much for listening, for passing on this information. For more information about A Better Today, our speeches, programs, seminars, and our charities, remember, we are one of the only self-funded charities in the nation, and it's because of folks like you always spreading the word about our programs and seminars. So thank you. Visit abettertoday.com, sign up for our newsletter, and also find out about the live event schedule and book signings that I'll be doing all across the country. Visit abettertoday.com. We're speaking with Gregg Braden. He is a New York Times best-selling author. He wrote The Divine Matrix, Bridging Time, Space, Miracles, and Belief. His website is greggbraden.com. Gregg, we have another 10 or so minutes before the show's over. I wanted this next 10 minutes to be just towards the people who are sitting in their cars right now, sitting by their computers, or maybe a friend downloaded this show for them, made a disc for them, and they're listening to it at home, or they have it on their iPod. They're in a rut. They're in a job maybe they're not happy with, in a relationship they feel not happy with, or they're just their own behavior they're just not happy with. They want to change, but they're not sure how to go about it. How do they do that, Gregg?
Well, before we even do that, I know our time's ticking down quickly here, Steve, and I just want to take a minute in case we don't have time at the end of the program. I want to thank you for your work, for this program, for the format for this program, for your enthusiasm for all you do, and all the people that you reach. I just want them to know we're in cities and countries all over the world that would love to have programs like this, and it's rare in the world to find this kind of programming. We find it in our country, but you leave our borders, except for the Internet, it's hard to find it. So I want to just acknowledge you, Steve, your work, and say thank you for all the good things you're doing here.
Well, thank you, Gregg. We're all on the same team.
Yeah. Someone sitting in their car right now, I know a lot of these principles, they sound, people, I think that the biggest stumbling block is that people feel like they're too simple. They said life can't be that simple. And these principles, if they really work this way, how come everybody's not already doing them?
Right.
And it's in my belief, and from what I've found in my travels in the world, I have to ask, why would it be any more difficult? What our own science is telling us is that we live in a world that's called a reflected universe, where the quantum stuff that holds everything together literally is like a mirror that reflects back to us through the situations in life what it is that we claim to be true in our beliefs. The key is that sometimes they're not conscious beliefs. So while we may consciously say we'd like to have a better world and a better income, we may have come from a family or a world that has told us since we were kids we're not worth it, and that we're not worthy of having those things. So I just want people, if you find it happening in your life, sometimes it is the beliefs that aren't conscious, and doesn't mean it doesn't work. It works so well that the subconscious beliefs become the reality of our lives, but we can transcend all of that, and that's the power of the wisdom we're talking about and the science we're talking about. The bottom line for all of this is that we must feel the feeling as if our heart's desires have already come to pass. And if we cannot do that, that's where the workshop begins. We've got to go into our lives and say, why can't we feel the abundance or the love or the nurturing? Why can't we feel that these things have already happened? But if we can really get to the core of everything we're talking about here, it's not so much the thoughts. It's feeling and giving thanks of gratitude and appreciation for the things, the desires of our heart, as if they've already happened. And when we do that, our cells will repair themselves, our bodies will heal, and our circumstances in life turn around in a heartbeat. And I can say it with conviction because I've experienced it personally, both from a health perspective as well as a relationship and career perspective in my life. That's why I can look at anyone in this world directly in the eye and speak with them with conviction and say, I know this is true.
You know, it's amazing someone's I-aming me now, and I have used this before. Thank you, Jim in New Jersey, who's saying, or listening to what Gregg is saying, he says, and Jesus actually tells somebody who he healed, someone touches his shoulder, and they said, oh, thank you for healing me. And Jesus says to him, it is not me who is healing you. It is your belief that I heal you that heals you.
Well, this is precisely it, and this is the greatest gift that we can give to others, because if you're going from that context, Jesus was also saying, if we're going to talk about the Jesus teachings, he was also saying the one place he couldn't perform the healings was in his own village, where people had seen him grow up as a child, knew about his faults, and in their minds, they held him to the limitations of his faults. Right. And I think the greatest gift we can give to one another is to elevate one another by seeing one another in our greatest light, rather than focusing on the smallness of our mistakes that we make in life. And I think that's where the healing really begins.
It's an amazing power we all have, and you had said earlier, I mean, we're at a pivotal point where we all need to really embrace this power that we have, and it's okay to be powerful. It's okay to have this power. Just remember, when people tell you, God created this beautiful universe and this majestic mountains and beautiful colors and everything, and that same God put you in charge of it. And it's amazing that if God has that sense for you, if God has that trust in you, then why would you not do it? Why would you think that you were put here for a mediocre living?
Well, precisely. And the contemporary physicist, John Wheeler from Princeton University, he was a colleague of Einstein's. He's still alive today. And his work, the term that he's coined, and I love this term, Steve, he says that we live in a participatory universe. It implies that we're not controlling, and we're not manipulating, and we're not imposing our will upon the world around us. Rather, we are participants in a collective and personal reality that's still unfolding. And what our own science is saying is that in this field, this divine matrix, all things are possible and already exist as a blueprint. It means our healing has already happened, and this is just what those texts tell us. It means our joy, our abundance, our success, our love, all of those things are already there. Our job, our role in life is to claim them, to breathe life into them from this field of possibilities. And the way we do that is through the language of human emotion that allows us to feel the compassion or the appreciation or the gratitude for what already is, and in that way we give it life in our world. And that's a subtle and very powerful difference from thinking that it's possible or from asking a higher power to give it to us. There's a whole 1-hour conversation we could have about this difference, but the bottom line is it's not about asking that it be given, it's about feeling as if it's already here, and that's how you ask. That's the language of the asking. Ask and you shall receive. Ask by using the language the field recognizes, and that language is the language of human emotion, the gratitude and appreciation, as if those things have already happened.
Gregg, it's always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for coming on. You've been listening to Empowered Living, Life, the Truth, and Being Free. We've been speaking with Gregg Braden. He is the author of The Divine Matrix. I strongly suggest you get this book, Bridging Time, Space, Miracles, and Belief. His website is greggbraden.com. There's a link for it at A Better Today as well. I will see you all next week.